and this is different than the questions I had mapped out for you, but I know that at North Point in your ministry, you use the analogy of a house and the front porch. And so groups are not on the front end of things. Groups tend to be as people get in, right? Am I stating that right?
Yeah, historically that's been true. And yet I think that's one of the cultural shifts.
I was going to say the front porch has changed this year.
It sure has. It's look at all the people sitting on the front porch. We have, we historically would liken the ministry environments to rooms in a house. So we had the foyer where you had guests, you had the living room where you had friends, and then you had the kitchen table where you had family. And the whole idea was moving people strategically through those environments so they could move from being guests to family to friends. And but as you know, we're seeing people who are starting in some of our group environments or some of our middle pool environments, and they are more likely to be willing to belong before they believe and be on journey with us. And it could be, a common cause that we're all, surrounded around, or it can be a common activity that we're all around. Mm-hmm. But we're seeing, while those who come to the church, that mindset still works. We're seeing people start with group through relationships with somebody in that group.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And it's interesting to see, because North Point has been such a successful ministry. And yet to be able to, instead of waiting for things to get quote unquote back to normal and for things to come around, it's like, how do we, in this world we have now, even though we may be longing for the good old days of 2019, how do we minister to people we have now, knowing that 2022 is still going to be different yet? So I think that's great. Because a lot of times when you've had such an effective model and you've led the conference, you've taught the people, and yet it's a matter of, everybody has to innovate right now.
Totally. We liken it these days. Annie made this analogy I think is really important, is that we've been we've been baristas, where we've basically been able to take orders and help people get what they need. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have to recalibrate ourselves to becoming more missionaries.